With the Marvel Cinematic Universe turning 10 years old next May, it feels incredibly poetic that Avengers Infinity War, which will release in that special birthday month, could be the end for some of the characters we've come to love over the last decade. After Marvel have repeatedly killed and resurrected many of the characters, there's almost an expectation that the next Avengers movie will have to pull the trigger on someone permanently in order to make the fight against Thanos feel as important as we all want it to feel. So where will each Avenger end up by the time the credits begin to roll, and how will Infinity War change them? Hold on tight, this is a long one. I'm Ben from What Culture, and here's every Avengers fate predicted for Avengers Infinity War. Number 21. Hawkeye, the least important Avenger. Fight me. It's hard to see where characters like he and Black Widow, i.e. the two human assassins, will factor into a battle with an Infinity Gauntlet-wielding space god. Still, since Clint Barton is appearing in the film, he does have a part to play. People have been pegging Hawkeye for the chop for years, but in all honesty, Marvel are not that likely to kill him off. They won't murder a character that has a wife and kids at home. That's a little too dark for a family-centric movie universe, but it is likely he'll be one of the first Avengers to be written out, retiring to family life. Number 20. Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff is a character that could cause some serious headaches for the Mad Titan. She'll be able to use her magic to manipulate objects and people around her, propelling her fellow Avengers into the air or stopping a projectile midway through its descent. By the end of the movie, Wanda and Vision will probably be an item. For this reason, she'll likely watch or be forced to watch Thanos rip the Mind Stone from Vision's forehead. This will be a deeply affecting moment for the character and the audience, and will cause her to go mad with rage, ripping time and space apart in the process. Number 19. Bucky Barnes. Bucky's currently on ice in Wakanda, and with Sebastian Stan recently confirming he won't be in Black Panther, it makes sense that he'd be woken from his slumber when the Infinity War begins. Though Cap and Bucky are wanted criminals, all that'll pale in comparison to the threat of Thanos showing up. Bucky will be part of the fight, but will he make it out? Not likely. People have been saying for some time that Marvel are positioning Bucky to take over as Captain America, but when you consider that Sebastian Stan just isn't as popular as Chris Evans, it seems unlikely. Number 18. War Machine. Though he sustained a nasty injury in Civil War, Don Cheadle has mentioned in interviews that War Machine will be back in action in Infinity War, with the help of some Stark tech, of course. That's a good thing too, because War Machine should prove useful in the upcoming battle. His armor can absorb a lot of damage, and he can stay out of reach of his enemies and attack from afar. For the filmmakers to do the whole War Machine is injured thing again would feel far too predictable, which means that killing him off wouldn't carry the shock value that it should, so he's probably safe. Number 17. Black Widow. As with the first Avengers film, there will be smaller, less imposing foes to deal with in Infinity War that Widow will prove useful against, leaving the larger enemies to her stronger allies. Widow will sport a new blonde hairdo in Infinity War, presumably to mask her identity after helping Captain America, a criminal, escape from the airport in Civil War. She'll hold the fort on Earth while the Avengers, who are better equipped to travel into space, battle Thanos throughout the cosmos. Also, Black Widow is still looking for redemption. She wants to make up for her past, and that doesn't mean she has to die. It could just see the end of her self-doubt issues. Number 16. Mantis. Her ability to read the emotions of others should make for some funny interactions between her and the Avengers, but we expect Mantis to have a very small role in Infinity War, and one that doesn't impact the plot in a massive way. If Mantis was a child in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, in Infinity War, she'll become an adult. Not literally, of course, but in terms of her social skills. In Volume 2, she was a shy, awkward, and weird person due to the fact that she had never really met other people before. Expect Mantis to learn, grow, and absorb all the tiny intricacies of social interaction through her conversations with the other heroes, making her a much less naive character by the film's end. Number 15. Drax. Drax may very well end up being the most important character in Infinity War due to his thirst for revenge against Thanos. So with Drax hungry to avenge the deaths of his wife and daughter, he could be the one to throw a spanner in Thanos' plan. The big question is whether or not Marvel will want Drax to have his revenge, and all things considered, it seems like they will. Marvel has been building this up since 2014, and it wouldn't make sense for them to just throw it all away now. Drax will give Thanos a run for his money, and while he won't kill him in Infinity War, Thanos will receive a huge blow at Drax's hands, whether that's a physical injury, loss of one of the Infinity Stones, loss of the Infinity Gauntlet, or the murder of Thanos' most loyal follower in the Black Order. Number 14. Gamora. Gamora, like Drax, isn't Thanos' biggest fan, but because she's his daughter, there's enough of a personal connection there to stop her killing him. This connection leads to an interesting question. How will Gamora react when she comes face to face with her father? Will she join the Avengers and fight, or will she take a back seat and simply try to protect those she cares about? Remember that Thanos said in Guardians of the Galaxy that Gamora is his favorite daughter. Thanos will want her back on his side, so don't be surprised if he and Gamora join forces in Infinity War, whether she does so willingly or whether she's doing it because she has no choice. Number 13. Star-Lord. For Peter Quill to meet and interact with people from Earth will be one of the most important events of his life post-childhood abduction. He hails from Earth, so he'll be more invested in its survival than any of the other Guardians, and this should give us a Quill more driven than we've ever seen him before. And let's not forget, he can kick some serious ass in a fight. This, along with his futuristic technology, will make him a valuable asset in the war. There's no way Marvel will kill off Star-Lord, or any of the Guardians for that matter, since the third movie has already been informally announced. He'll show up, drop some quips, and fight the good fight. Number 12. Groot. The poster for Infinity War that recently dropped online revealed that Groot will appear as adolescent Groot in the movie, which is more or less the same way we left him in the Guardians Volume 2 post-credits scene. He's almost indestructible, has no trouble killing his enemies, and is one of the strongest Avengers on the team. In a way, we can easily predict which characters Marvel will not kill off based on whether or not they've killed them off before. Groot died, then came back in Guardians of the Galaxy, so to put him at risk of death again would feel repetitive, and Marvel knows it. Number 11. Rocket. Foul-mouthed, unapologetic, and always ready with a snarky comment, we absolutely cannot wait to see Rocket banter with Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spidey, and the rest of the gang. Since he and Tony also share a proclivity for building cool stuff, we're also expecting a scene where the two collaborate on something, with neither being at all humble about their engineering skills. Rocket's tragic past was mentioned in Guardians of the Galaxy, and his resulting dickishness expanded upon in the sequel, so we'll probably see Infinity War pick up on this thread, and it's the perfect opportunity for Rocket to close the lid on these issues with fellow sufferers Bucky, Black Widow, Banner, and Vision. Number 10. Hulk. Hulk might be the strongest, most powerful character on this list, so he'll certainly prove useful, and the fact that he'll be in space already could mean that he'll be one of the first to encounter Thanos when the film begins. The Hulk being mind-controlled and turning on his allies play has been used multiple times in the MCU, so we don't think that'll happen again, but what we do think will happen is that Bruce in his human form will get less and less screen time. His struggle will come to a head in Infinity War. Bruce will realize that the world needs the Hulk and that he shouldn't fear his powers, and he'll become Hulk permanently, at least until Thanos is defeated, in order to fully combat the threat posed to Earth. Number 9. Falcon. Falcon, like Iron Man, is just a dude in a metal suit who can fly, and while his ability does allow him to swiftly evade enemy attacks, he's still incredibly vulnerable to, a giant infinity gauntlet of doom and bullets. Marvel won't want to kill off Falcon. Anthony Mackie is an extremely likable star, and the studio would probably be aware of the backlash they would receive if they killed off one of their few black characters. Falcon will make it to the end of the movie safely and will likely become Steve's right-hand man, so to speak, or successor if Bucky bites the dust. Number 8. Ant-Man. Ant-Man might just be the ace up the Avengers' sleeve. He can shrink to an impossibly tiny size, which could cause Thanos all kinds of problems, but he can also grow to an immense height as seen in Civil War, which might just give him the ability to overpower a gauntletless mad titan in a physical standoff. Since Ant-Man has a sequel due out in July of 2018, or to put it another way, 2 months after Infinity Wars opens, his fate is one of the easiest to predict. He's safe. He won't have much screen time, but because Marvel are giving Ant-Man a sequel and the character is becoming more and more popular, we do expect Infinity War to push him more as a main Avengers member. Number 7. Black Panther. Black Panther is the last solo movie due out before Infinity War, but obviously he'll survive his own movie and will almost certainly defeat the villain, so once Infinity War starts, his people will view him as a worthy king of Wakanda. In Infinity War, Wakanda will be targeted by Thanos' forces on account of its powerful people and valuable resources. To control Wakanda would make it easier to control Earth. T'Challa will step up and defend his people and his home, and he, along with Bucky, will fight to protect Wakanda against Thanos' followers. Wakanda will be near devastated and Bucky possibly killed after a long, arduous battle. Number 6. Doctor Strange. Though Doctor Strange relied heavily on the Eye of Agamotto, or the Time Stone, to make it out of his film alive, he's no longer in possession of it, having returned it to Kamar-Taj for safekeeping. The only question is, who will take it first, Thanos or Strange? Since Strange is one of the newer Avengers, there's no way he'll be killed off. He's the future of the MCU. Like Ant-Man, he'll be pushed into more of a leading role as Infinity War progresses, as some of the older Avengers fade from the spotlight. Since Thanos will come to possess the Time Stone at some point, Strange won't be able to rely on any time-bending trickery to save the day this time, which is a nice lesson for the character to learn, and he will instead have to use his other magic. Number 5. Vision. We all know it's coming. That Mind Stone is not staying in Vision's forehead. The stone will be forcibly removed from Vision, and this will likely occur sometime during the movie's first half. But what then? Vision will still be able to survive without the stone, but he'll be far less powerful and not capable of emitting the devastating beams he fired in Age of Ultron and Civil War. With Vision weakened, the Avengers will lose hope, but this opens up a perfect opportunity to end the movie, the Mind Stone being returned to Vision's head. Maybe this is part of Wanda's altered reality, or maybe our heroes managed to retrieve the stone from Thanos' grasp, but it's hard to see Infinity War ending on a super bleak tone, and this will be a great hook to lead into the sequel. Number 4. Thor. We don't know a lot about Thor's role in this movie, but we do know that at one point, he has his head squeezed by Thanos. God. However, to show this clip to crowds at D23 and Comic-Con and then have Thor die in Infinity War doesn't feel right. It would almost feel like a mild spoiler. Thor won't be killed off then, but he will reclaim his hammer at some point in the movie. This will be a turning point in the battle, and the smart money is on Doctor Strange using his magic to help restore Mjolnir to its former glory. Number 3. Spider-Man. As well as sporting a brand new red and black suit, the character now also utilizes his natural spider sense to warn him of impending danger. It'll be interesting to see how Peter copes, considering that his current list of heroic endeavors are relatively small scale when compared to battling Thanos in space. And after all, he's just a kid. Like Ant-Man, Spider-Man has a sequel due out post-Infinity War, so the risk of him dying is non-existent, but Infinity War will still impact him in a big way, and he'll struggle to hold his own when the battle is this big and the opponents are this bad. He'll realize that being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man just isn't enough, and will officially accept his role as a fully fledged Avenger. Number 2. Captain America. Is he even called Captain America anymore? The end of Civil War indicated that he'd abandoned the mantle, given that he's now without his shield, his outfit, and also sports a beard that seems to signify a less polished archetypal hero. Cap doesn't appear to be in Wakanda at the start of Infinity War, and has instead been running rogue missions with Scarlet Witch. One of these will bring Cap into contact with some of Thanos' followers, which will lead him to reuniting with Tony and the rest of the Avengers. Cap won't die at the end of Infinity War. His retirement is something more likely to happen in Avengers 4, whether he dies or simply stops fighting, but he'll get to lead Thor, Iron Man, and the original Avengers into battle, a coming together that will be a way to celebrate the original 6 heroes that started it all. Number 1. Iron Man. The Avengers may have expanded the MCU, but Iron Man started the MCU, making Infinity War the 10-year anniversary of one of the most important blockbusters of the modern age. It's hard not to feel like this could be it for Robert Downey Jr.'s character, given the fact that Iron Man 4 never materialized, and Marvel appeared to be positioning other superheroes like Doctor Strange to take his place as the face of the MCU. But will Marvel actually kill Iron Man in Infinity War? No. Again, that's something that will be better saved for Avengers 4. But as the trailer footage showed Iron Man being punched by Thanos, it's safe to say this movie won't be easy for him. He will live to the end, but he'll be unbelievably battered and bruised by the time the credits roll. If Iron Man is to exit the MCU in the next couple of movies, tying the knot on his and Pepper's relationship would be the perfect way to end things. Tony is more afraid of losing Pepper than anything else, so he'll want to secure her hand in marriage before he heads into what could be his final few battles. And that's our list. Make sure you subscribe to the What Culture YouTube channel for more lists like this, and don't forget to visit whatculture.com for daily news and articles. I'm Ben from What Culture, and thanks for watching.